Imagine this, just for a moment, a quiet neighborhood, ordinary houses, ordinary lives, and behind one unremarkable wall, a story so dark that it slowly poisons everything it touches. This is not a story that begins with blood. It begins with silence, with routine, with a woman who, on the surface, is simply a mother of four, a wife, someone you would pass on the street without a second glance. One afternoon, she steps onto the rooftop to hang clothes under the open sky. A normal act, something done thousands of times before, but this time, her eyes meet another pair of eyes across the narrow gap between two houses. A young man stands on the opposite roof, staring, not shy, not apologetic, just staring. She looks away, tells herself it means nothing. Yet the next day it happens again, and the day after that, and slowly, silently, something dangerous takes shape, because human weakness rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers. In a world filled with smartphones and constant connection, distance disappears quickly, a gesture, a number exchanged without words, and suddenly, the line between right and wrong blurs. Calls begin, messages follow, laughter replaces caution, secrecy becomes exciting, and without realizing it, a woman who once worried about school fees, dinner, and bedtime stories begins to live a second life inside a glowing screen. Each vibration of the phone feels like oxygen. Each missed call feels like loss. And while this happens, for children sleep in the next room, unaware. A husband works, trusts, returns home, unaware. This is how destruction truly begins, not with a scream, but with a choice repeated over and over again. Soon, secrecy is no longer enough. Desire demands space, time, opportunity. And that opportunity is manufactured through betrayal, so calculated it chills the soul. Night after night, tea is served, warm, familiar, comforting. Except this tea carries something else, something meant to steal consciousness, to silence resistance. The husband drinks, grows heavy, collapses into sleep, while outside, in the cover of darkness, another man approaches the house, slipping in like a shadow. Hours pass, hours stolen from morality, from motherhood, from humanity. This is no longer a mistake. It is a system, a routine, a crime rehearsed again and again. Until one night, fate shifts. The tea is served, but sleep does not come. The husband lies awake, senses sharpen, ears catching whispers from another room. Unfamiliar breaths, muffled voices. Reality crashes in all at once. He shouts, he confronts, he exposes the truth, and in that moment, he unknowingly signs his own death warrant. Because fear, when mixed with obsession, can turn people into monsters. What follows is not an accident, not a momentary loss of control, but a sequence of actions: a brick raised, a blow delivered, a cloth tightened around a neck until breath disappears forever. Life ends quietly, brutally, inside the very home meant to protect it. Love, if it can still be called that, puts on the mask of murder. When the silence returns, panic sets in. The lover flees, the woman remains, and a performance begins. Tears carefully measured, lies carefully constructed. Family members are told a story of an accident, a fall, an injury that seemed small, a death that came suddenly. But lies rot from the inside. Suspicion grows, parents ask questions, police arrive. Phones are checked, call logs examined, and technology, indifferent and precise, reveals what human mouths try to hide. A number, repeated, late at night, again and again. Under pressure, the truth cracks through the surface. A post-mortem confirms what the heart already knows. This was not fate, it was murder. Arrests follow, statements are recorded, and in a cold room at a police station, a woman utters words that echo with terrifying emptiness, that she did it for love, that she feels no regret, that nothing can erase that feeling from her heart. If this story already feels heavy, pause here, take a breath, because before you go any further, if stories like this matter to you, if you believe these realities should be told, understood, and never repeated, then take a second, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to hear it,
Because awareness is not entertainment, it is prevention. And now, let us continue. Because the true cost of this crime is not measured in prison years or headlines. It is measured in 4 small lives left behind. Children who wake up one day to a world where their father is gone forever, their mother is locked behind bars, and every adult around them looks away in discomfort. This is the hidden aftermath, the slow-burning tragedy that never trends, never goes viral, but lasts a lifetime. Years will pass, seasons will change, but the damage done that night will echo endlessly. Those children will grow up carrying a burden they never chose, questions they cannot answer, scars that no apology can erase. Society will label their parents, neighbors will whisper, relatives will distance themselves, and the children will learn, far too early, that the sins of adults often become the inheritance of the innocent. Meanwhile, the woman sits in a cell, replaying memories, or perhaps justifying them, telling herself stories where desire was destiny and betrayal was bravery. The lover too faces consequences, but consequences are not justice, they are only responses. Justice would have been restraint, honesty, courage to stop before crossing the line. This case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths, that obsession can feel like love, that secrecy can feel like freedom, that technology can accelerate moral collapse faster than any generation before. A rooftop glance, a phone number, a late-night call, none of these seem dangerous alone. Yet together, they form a chain strong enough to strangle an entire family. This is why such stories must be told slowly, deliberately, without glamour, without shortcuts. Because this is not fiction, it is a mirror, and it reflects possibilities that exist in any society where boundaries weaken and accountability fades. The most terrifying part is not the violence itself, but how ordinary everything looked before it happened. The home was clean, the tea was warm, the children laughed during the day. Evil did not arrive wearing horns, it arrived wearing routine. And that is the lesson that matters most, that when desire replaces responsibility, when secrecy replaces honesty, when obsession replaces empathy, the end is almost always the same: jail, graves, broken children, broken communities. As this story comes to a close, there is no dramatic redemption, no sudden wisdom gained too late, only consequences unfolding slowly, relentlessly. Let this not be consumed as gossip, but absorbed as warning. Let it remind us that every choice has weight, that every secret has momentum, and that love, when stripped of morality, becomes something unrecognizable, something lethal. If you are still here, still listening, then carry this story with you, talk about it, question your own boundaries, protect your families, because the distance between normal life and irreversible tragedy is sometimes no wider than a rooftop, a glance, a phone call, and one moment where someone chooses desire over duty, and everyone pays the price.